To fuel our engine of possibilities in life, it requires all of us to give serious consideration to the priority we place on our physical health. According to the National Institute of Health, physical activity reduces many major mortality risk factors, including arterial hypertension, stroke, diabetes, mellitus, type 2, dyslipidemia, coronary heart disease, and cancer. All-cause mortality risk are reduced by approximately 30 to 35% in physically active people compared to non-physically active or sedentary individuals. For David Germeau, he's concerned and interested in one mission. He helps people understand that their bodies are in shape to grow. He helps them to optimize their health, to meet life challenges, and to connect the health dots with personal daily adaptations. David has spent more than 20 years in the health and fitness industry as a personal trainer, nutritionist, coach, trainer, speaker, and author, and also a biohacker. He's worked with a variety of people over the duration of the past 2 decades, including children athletes, seniors, Parkinson's patients, and those with diabetes. His diversity of experience and education provides David with an international view on maximizing health, wellness, and potential. David is a strong believer in meeting people where they are and rather than influencing them to push themselves to the greatest limits of their physical and psychological health potential. He really helps them to understand the importance of dominating their health safe space and really optimizing the level of health that they want to achieve. Are you intrigued to learn more? I really hope so, because the conversation I had with Germeau covered a variety of different areas in the field of health and wellness. No matter where you are in your current health and fitness journey, this conversation has something for everyone. As a result, I hope you stick around, because I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. If you're ready, I'll take a moment to welcome you to the program, and I'm super excited to learn how you help people optimize their health. Great to see you this morning, and happy Tuesday to you, my friend.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely. So, David, I know that you help people optimize their health, and help them connect the health dots and really go through the options on how they can really maximize their ability to be healthy. So I'm wondering if we can start our conversation by you telling me about all the great work that you do.
Yes, exactly. I use a lot of self-assessment and genetic assessment and everything I can have from the clients, from the person, to understand how the body is reacting today and what the body is telling me. My mantra is in shape to grow. So I mean, my aim is to give the good health, the good energy, the right program for the person to feel better than yesterday and be able to face the challenge of life. Because when you don't have enough energy, it's hard to work on your emotions, to work on your psychological issues or anything. So my first things when I meet someone is to assess them, and one of my mentors is saying that if you don't test, you guess. So I try not guessing too much, and with all these informations, I try to find out what is the story, the body story or the health story of the clients, and how can we go from point A to point B and then point C and see where the person is able to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, David, I know that you've spent more than 20 years in the health and fitness industry as a trainer, an author, a speaker, and uh, I know that and a nutritional coach. So tell me about sort of the lessons you've learned and sort of your motto when it comes to helping people really maximize their level of health. What do you think is the greatest lesson you've learned in the 20 or so years you've been doing this work?
Well, because I also teach new coaches, the biggest lesson is that my view of health is not the view of the person. So I may have some expectations for my own health, but I cannot expect my clients, my coachee, to reach this point. So I really try to understand what they need, but also to follow what they want, and not being judgmental about how far and how fast they can go. So I studied a little bit everywhere, because I started to study in Belgium, then I study in Australia, then I study in UK, in the States, and now I'm working in Canada. And it's the same everywhere. I mean, we are all human beings and we are all looking for something, but we all have our own story. So my biggest challenge is to really listen to the person and help them to go as far as they can, as far they want, and at their own pace. Not, you see, like the performance, the optimization. That it's a lot of pressure on people, and we all have our own story. So I really try to maximize with nutrition, with exercise, with relaxation, with sleep, with creativity, with personal development, all these tools to help the clients to grow a little bit every day.
Yeah, absolutely. David, I'm fascinated to ask you about when you look at the world today, how healthy do you think the world is today? And when you look at the world, what do you think when you think about optimizing health? How do you think we can all do it better as a general population?
I believe in education. You see, everyone knows how to use their smartphone or to use technology, but less people knows how to detox or to prepare a great meal, and especially that what they eat can have an impact on how they think, or they manage stress, or they react with other people. We know today, for example, that empathy depends on the gut health. So because today I believe we are more attracted by pleasure, by quick fix, by, okay, today I deserve a beer, or today I deserve a dessert because I did work hard. But people don't really understand that everything from the first step they do waking up to the last one before going to bed, everything has an impact on their health or their communications, on their happiness. So today I see the around the world, especially for in the modern and occidental countries, that nutrition and movement is like a leisure. So I eat because I want to have fun or I want to have pleasure, and I move because I want to have the six abs or um, anything. But they don't see their health like something precious, like the most precious things we have when we get born is health. So we have this amazing opportunity to express ourselves in any level. And for that, we need to nurture it by moving a little bit. It's not even sports. It's like moving a little bit. It's about eating the right things, but having respect for the animal or the plants or anything on earth to make ourselves vibrant and healthy and creative at any level. I mean, we are not all like famous people, but in our level, we have, I believe, something to do. And for that, we need health.
Yeah, absolutely. And David, you would know more than most people working with a variety of people, because I know you work with a variety of individuals of all ages, from children to seniors to athletes to those in vulnerable populations, including Parkinson patients. So I'm curious to ask you about the diversity of perspectives. When you work with a diversity of people, how rewarding is it to help so many people realize their optimum health, my friend? Because not all cases of health are the same. So, how rewarding is it working with a variety of different people as well?
Yes, I feel like I'm very lucky because I didn't really choose this path. I mean, I started to study physical education before going to Australia to study nutrition and health in general. But I started working as a student with children, and it's amazing how much energy they have and how different they are. But then after I work in the fitness industry and I saw different kind of people, but I was always interested in athletes and performance. And later in life, I had to work because I had this opportunity to work with elderly and Parkinson patients, and it helps me to understand, you see, the whole aspect of health that um, we all have this energy, this capacity as a child to move, to communicate with others, to play, because usually we are forgetting that exercise can be fun and it's not just running like some adults think, but we have this opportunity to play, to interact with others and have fun and sweat and grow. And but on the other side, depending on what you do, it will um, impact how well you grow and how well you get older. And yes, it is rewarding, but I see my expertise more like being a witness of how health can progress, or life is, to understand it and being able to share it and um, share the dots, the connections between how you feel or you react to life. I know that you motivate a lot of people with your own story, with your own work. And this is where I believe that we all have something to express, and we can impact our health, and this health will impact others. And I can and with this expertise from childhood to elderly and Parkinson's disease and diabetics, I can see our emotions can have a lot of impact on your health. And um, hopefully in a few years I will be able to write a book about that and give hope to people from any situations they can progress and go from maybe D to E in terms of growing in their own health.
Yeah, absolutely. And David, I'm a big believer that in life we prioritize the things that are important to us. So tell me about the importance of prioritizing health and how it's interconnected to your quality of life as well. How do you think those two things are interconnected?
I believe that it's better to understand the little things in life. One of my friends, Sean Coston, said that little by little, a little becomes a lot. And I like this sentence because that's what I teach to my students, to my coaches, to my clients for a long time, that every day you can do a little bit about nutrition, about exercise, about sleep, and everything together will help at the end of the day to feel rewarded about your day, and day after day and weeks after weeks to feel more energized and being able to be more in tune with your health. And not that you can decide everything, because of course you have your genetics and you have things in life, and but at least you can find a middle way and react. No, be proactive with your health, not waiting for something happening, but making sure that what you do, it's the best you can do based on what you know and what you have learned, and you can grow from there. And that's what I do. I have a very specific not specific, but like everyone, I have my own issues and my own challenges, and I work on myself to understand a little bit more health and the connections between the nervous system and the digestive system, and the way the life is reacting to you, because you are a mirror of what's happening. So everything together makes sense, and that's why I'm still studying today.
Life is a constant game of learning, isn't it, David?
It is. It is.
Absolutely. David, I'm curious to ask you about the concept of a health checklist, and whether people need to create a checklist for their health, sort of like a grocery list of reminders to help them get into the correct mindset when it comes to their own personal health. So I'm curious if you believe in helping people create checklists that hold them accountable for their health.
Yes. I created actually. I like your questions because I created a few years ago a model. I don't know if you ever heard about the business model canvas.
Yes.
Yes, and I took this model and I switched it to a healthy model. So I believe that if you have a company, a business, you need to write down your business model. But what about your health? Because if you want to be proactive to your health, I believe you need to write down your health model and say, okay, this is my health today, and I'm doing these kind of programs, these kind of activities. I have this kind of mindset. And maybe your mindset is, oh, I will never be as fit as my brother, or I will never be fit as I used to be because of blah, blah, blah. And you also influence people by your health, and you are influenced by other people, and you have benefits and costs from this health. So I work with my clients with this model I created to, okay, today you have this kind of health and these issues. Okay, in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years, what do you think you can achieve? What would be your optimal health? Not mine, yours. And from that, we work on the same topics or can you change your mindset? What would you like to change about your mindset? Would you like to be more have more self-esteem? Do you believe your health can grow? Can you see yourself in 2 or 3 years with a better health based on your definitions of health, not mine? And we work on all these things. And from that, we have checklists and we have things we can use to grow. But it can be a cardio training program, but it can be also a breathing program. It can be a creativity program. A few months ago, I gave to a lady who was looking to lose weight a program of creativity. I said that if you express yourself a little bit more every day, it will help you lose your weight. And of course, it's not like calories, it's not like exercise, but with all these little dots, like a puzzle, if you have a maximum of pieces of the puzzle will be a lot more uh, coherent with what you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And, David, I'm curious to ask you about physical literacy and physical health. And how do you think people should take their physical health as a priority and really read about physical health and coming up with solutions to live a healthier life? So, how do you think physical literacy and the importance of emphasizing that is important as it's connected to our overall physical health?
Yes, this question you asked me when I read it, I thought it was really interesting because, yes, I'm a scientist at first, and the health literacy is very important to understand the concept how things works, but it's just statistics. And when I work with people, I tell them that they are not statistics. They have their own story. They have their own environment, their own emotions, their own memories. And we need to personalize we need to personalize more the program and the coaching and the menu and the tools we share with people to make sure that they are not following like a magic formula. It's not because it works for person A that is going to work for you. So yes, I believe that we need to study more, to research more, to understand. At the moment, for example, I'm studying the link between early childhood trauma and the impact on the nervous system and how we can adapt it. Okay. And so this is a part that can explain many things. It's very important to understand the literacy of these specific topics, but on the same time, everyone being different with a different environment, different beliefs, we need to personalize the recommendations, the programs, the checklist for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And David, how do you think we could get more people excited about really taking their health as a regular part of life and really get them excited about taking care of themselves? How do you think we can get more people excited about physical health?
I believe again, Kevin, that showing them the holistic way of health is working will motivate them because they don't understand that the way they eat, what they eat will influence their mindset, their emotions, and they will be less addicted to anything. So if people understand a little bit more, so I believe it's by education, but not the scientific education, it's more the testimonial of people having found out they all balance, understanding the connections between the physical, the emotion, the spiritual, and the mental health. It's very important because with that, they will understand that they don't need to be perfect in fitness. They don't need to eat just salad every day to lose weight. They don't need to like running to be fit and avoid any cardiac disease. And they know, if they knew that the impact they have on their health is bigger than familial or family heritage or genetics, they, I believe, will be more motivated to work on daily actions. Now, of course, as we mentioned earlier, a lot of people have addictions, are tired, eat too much sugar. So that's hard to get out of this kind of pleasure, pain situations. So again, finding a way, that's what we try to work with the Czech Institute. It's to find the red line between all these dots in someone's health, someone's life. So outside health, you have your life being influenced by your health. And I believe with that, if people understand that, they will be more motivated to take action.
Yeah, and from a nutritional standpoint, David, I'm curious to ask you about creating a checklist or a roadmap to make sure people are eating healthier and really optimizing the food that they put in their body. So, what do you think is the key to creating a roadmap to eating healthier?
Well, the nutrition is actually very, very, very easy. If you eat like your great grandmother, you should be close to the perfections. With everything that grows, everything that run, everything that are living are good for us. If you don't understand what's on the label of what you eat, you shouldn't eat it. If your great mother didn't eat this food, you shouldn't eat it, even if it's nice taste. So it's very easy. But now the gap between the person who eat healthy and have a healthy life, it's different now because people are so messed up based on poor sleep, stress, toxins, sugar, that their own body will need extra things to find out balance and be able to follow just a roadmap, like a basic ones. So yes, it's very easy. On the other side, you need to be able to or want to eat maybe things you don't eat anymore today, like fish and seafood and liver and organs and everything that Mother Earth gave us, because you find nutritional things in all this food, giving you all the micronutrients you need. If you don't, because of any reasons, then you need to be able to find the right supplements that Mother Earth was supposed to give you, but you don't like it, so you need to complement yourself. But nutrition, it's like you are what you eat, so that's very important. But depending on where you are you in the red zone where you need support, or are you on the green zone when you need just to nourish yourself?
Absolutely. And, David, I'm also curious to ask you about physical education in terms of the educational system today. And why do you think schools should place an emphasis on offering physical education to children? Because I think it's vitally important. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and then I have a story. I mean, I have an experience from different countries, because in Belgium, when I grew up, we didn't have much more physical education. But on the other side, you have access to many sports with a low cost. When I was in the States, when I was a high schooler, I had a lot more sports and most of my life. I could do sports like 2 or 3 times a day with a lot of different teams, swimming team, track and field, wrestling, basketball, or football. So everything is very accessible, and that's very important. We know that the reason we have a brain is to explore the world. So if we explore the world with physical activities, it will help us to grow in different area. Now that I'm in Canada, my kids don't have that much physical education, so I'm a little bit disappointed about that. And sports outside school are pretty expensive. So yes, I believe, I don't know if it's the case in the US. I know in Belgium it's not better at school, but you have many opportunities of playing sports outside school. So overall, I believe that from the early age, and that's what my kids started at 4 years old, they start judo, they started aikido, and these sports help them to move correctly, to be comfortable with their bodies, and it's very important for the, again, physical, emotional, and mental health of kids and children. And so it will create balanced adults to make the right choices. Again, it's a lot easier to manage your stress and life challenges if you have enough energy and enough confidence in your body to react, to be in the world.
Yeah, David, I'm curious to ask you about, with all of the devices that allow children today to sit in front of a screen instead of getting physical activity. How worried are you that this generation of children will become so sedentary that they will neglect their physical fitness because of all of the screen time they have today?
Yeah.
How important is it for kids to get outside?
It's very important. There's an amazing book called The Last Child in the Wood, written by an American author, saying that being outside, playing sports, doing activities is very important for the immune system, the mental development, and everything. And of course, the screen has the opposite impact. We cannot erase screens from children. So for me as a dad, because I have 8 years old and then 16 years old kids, so children. So I know that screen time is a big challenge for parents. I'm glad that throughout the years, if I tell my children to go outside for a walk, they will come for biking, for skateboarding, for walking, for trekking. So they will go, but they also have their screen time because it's the modern world, but it's a big challenge. And we have enough knowledge today for adults, for parents, to make sure that they can manage the screen time, the outdoor time. No, it's easy for me because I started with this knowledge. What is hard for parents now, it's when their kids are already addicted to a screen, and that's not my specialties. And some people are really in tune with these issues and can have very good tools to help parents about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And David, tell me a little bit about your background, buddy, because I know you've lived all over the world. I know you live in Canada now, but you have international experience, as you shared with me earlier. So tell me a little bit about your background, my friend, and why this work is so personally important to you.
Yeah, of course. Well, my dad was an osteopath and he knew homeopathy and acupuncture. So I grew up with this mindset of working on different fields. And I started to study physical education in university in Belgium. So I have a first master in physical education. Then I went to Australia to learn health sciences and nutrition in particular for a master in health sciences in Sydney in 2000. And there I met some students from Paul Chek, from the Czech Institute in California, and I learned this holistic way of coaching. So I studied with him, and since 2001, I never stopped reading, or I never stopped studying about any key that will help someone to take care of their own health without the medical world, because I'm not a medical doctor. So I'm always looking about tools that people can help to get in a better shape. And sometimes my job is to tell them, okay, this is beyond my capacity. So here you have a better energy because you eat better, you move better, you sleep better, go to the next step. So my background is really based on science, but also this holistic approach. And my aim is to go back to university and study neurosciences, because I believe that based on the nervous system and the link to biology and trauma, I can learn a little bit more and even use more efficiently exercise, nutrition, relaxation for managing the nervous system and help my clients to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And David, tell me, I see behind you you've got the dad sign behind you. So tell me about the best part about being a dad. And I also see you've got a football and a bunch of books behind you. So tell me about the best part about being a dad and some of your hobbies away from work as well.
Well, the best part of being a dad is that you can't fake. I mean, if you tell about health, if you want to teach them about health, you need to embrace it. And when you are not in tune with what you teach, what you said, and your own emotions, because again, health is not just about nutrition and exercise, it's also about emotions. How can I communicate my emotions? When I feel bad and my kids said, "Oh, Dad, how are you?" And I said, "Oh, I'm fine," I'm lying to them. I want to protect them, saying, "Oh, I'm fine," but even if inside I feel bad. So I had to learn with my kids to be honest and say, "Oh, today I had a bad day. It's hard for me. So maybe I act like a little bit nervous, but don't worry, it's not your fault. Tell me about your day," and because I just told about my day. So communications and especially about emotions for that, I believe it's very important. And I have a wonderful wife who helped me to connect with my kids, because we choose our the birth techniques and how we raise our kids together. So it's also a challenge when you have parents. They need to be in tune to raise their kids. So that's a part of being a dad too. So yeah, that's the best part of it. It's the best school of all these books are great. I love them. You know, there's one on the Leonardo da Vinci. It's one of my favorite author. It's an old one, but I have about the Tao. Oops, there. And all the books are good. I need to digest them, but applying them, my best public is my kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And David, I'm curious to ask you about anyone who's watching this or listening to it and wants to take control of their health, and they're really not someone who had prioritized their health in the past. I'm wondering some tips you could give anyone watching or listening to this about what they can do today to take ownership of their own health.
Yes, it's a very interesting question, Kevin. I believe that researching. I love Sherlock Holmes. I love Da Vinci, because there are people who research things, try to find connections. So what I would suggest to people listening to us today is that they try to write down their story from the beginning to now, and what happens, what they did, what works, what didn't work, who helped them, what they need, where they want to go for the next 3 or 5 years, and see what they need. It's what I do with my modelizations of optimal health. It's finding the tools, maybe the author, maybe the testimonial, maybe the podcast that will help them to understand, oh, yes, this is very interesting because it's remind me something I feel, or it linked to something I feel, so I should go in this direction. So opening your mind, not just on cardio training or strength training or calories or proteins, or no, going outside it and see the whole things, write down your life and health and see where you can upgrade and where you can progress to feel better. Now, if you feel perfect with your health, with your life, it means that you find your balance. So I'm not pushing people to go as far as they can. I'm pushing people to find their own serenity. I believe that finding inner serenity is the best place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And David, tell me, I'm finally curious to ask you about your own personal and professional legacy, my friend, and how you want your legacy to be defined.
Yes, it's what I said. It's based on finding your inner serenity. If I can share with people this mindset of hope, you can be in any situations. You can always do something for your health that will help you to be better in life. And at the moment, for example, I'm studying a very interesting topic. This is the podcast for next week. It's in French. Do you speak French, Kevin?
I do not.
No, you do not. So, but if one day I see this person talking in English, I will send you the podcast. It's an amazing medical doctor working on your family tree and seeing in your family tree what you can learn about yourself and your health and your life. And it's an amazing topic, an amazing science that will help you to understand, so what am I repeating and how can I understand it, digest it, and go forward? If it's something you want to understand and know, because of course, as I mentioned earlier in our interview, I try not to influence my clients. I mean, they have needs, they have wants, and I'm going to try to find a balance between the two. If they are happy where they are, it's great. I'm not going to push them saying, oh, you can go even further because there is this and this and this and this. If they ask for that, I will be there. If they don't ask, that's their own path.
Yeah, absolutely. And David, finally tell me, if people want to get connected with the good work that you do, what's the best way they can do that?
Oh, they can connect with me on my website, davidgermeau.com, and also a good place to go. It's on my YouTube channel because I have some interviews in English. The first year of my podcast was about interviewing entrepreneur about health, and that's David Germeau, health plan designer. And with that, they will find out a few interviews in English if they don't speak French. If they speak French, I have many topics that can really help them on their health. And I will be more than happy to answer their questions based on these topics.
Fantastic. Well, David, I want to thank you for the good work that you do to help people optimize their health and for engaging in conversation with me this morning. Your work in the space and time on my behalf is most appreciated, and I want to thank you for being here this morning.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kevin, for your amazing questions. It really helps me also to fine-tune the way I want to share my expertise, and I really appreciate our conversation.